Hello, hello! I'm back once again. I do, with a decent, oh yes, decent chance I'll be finishing up, Heaven's Word tonight. Press button, press button. Yeah. Kind of sorry for the opening BGM. I wasn't expecting it to, loop so poorly. Most of the tracks in the game loop decently, at least to a point where it's not just like a very, very sharp cutoff. But last time, quite a lot happened. We had a few more encounters with the Warriors of Darkness. I believe last time is when we met with Alizé again for the first time. The first time since the Coils of Bahamut, that is. We dealt with the Warriors of Darkness after dealing with Zelphatol and learning more about their plot, and Urian J uh, doing a like triple a, like triple cross. Um, Turns out that he'd been helping the Warriors of Darkness, but just to lead them into his gambit, which would involve Minfilia being sacrificed to stop the First from being wiped out because the whole world of lives. Real interesting state of affairs. Um, and totally not something that will be a regular occurrence, I promise. Um, very closely following that, we kind of got dragged into the rising tensions with the group called the Griffins, which was a like rising power in the Alamegan resistance. We get pulled into that because they're like stockpiling crystals and the like, and they were helping supply various beast tribes with crystals. So that to facilitate their summoning that was spurred on by the Wars of Darkness. You know, we reached the end of this chain and finally get to the Griffin themselves, or so we think initially. As he's giving a speech in the sunken temple of Karn, where we're at, we see for the first time since the end of ARR, Yida and Papalimo. Everyone's surprised. They share some information and some stories, and we begin formally looking into the Griffins. In short order, we discover that no, they're not going to summon a primal. They are simply providing the Amalja crystals so that they will summon the primal or summon their primal, and in return, the Amalja will aid them in their attempted retaking of Alamigo. This does not go well. This is actually in. I never noticed that before. We'll get back to that in a minute. Us going after the Amalja's crystals is actually what spurs our final confrontation with the Warriors of Darkness, thusly leading to Minfilia's sacrifice and so on and so forth. So after a few more deals with or a bit more speaking with the Griffin and whatnot, we eventually learned that in a very short time frame, he is in the Griffin, will be attacking Balsar's Wall, which is this lovely structure which you can kind of see from East Shroud? East Shroud. And funnily enough, I never noticed existed in my entire playthrough until this moment. I literally thought that they added it with these patches. only to, like, I'm leveling alts. I go, no, I'm just oblivious and blind. So we rush to get into the wall to stop what will very easily and very quickly drag the Alliance into a full-out brawl with the Empire, which is not ideal because despite what Yida was saying, inevitable or no, it's best that it happens on our terms, and just loss of life, yada yada. So we fight up through the wall in the attempts of reaching the Griffin and stopping the assault, only to find that the Griffin was in fact Ilberd. Ilberd being the command or the what was his actual title? It was like first lieutenant or something of the second in command of the Crystal Braves, the Alphanos failed paramilitary group. We fight him, and in the end, he reveals his ultimate plan was not actually, or not necessarily just, to drag the Alliance into a war with the Empire that's occupying El Amigo. It was instead to use the fervent prayers and despair of the failing resistance fighters as Garlemald crushed them during the assault to summon a primal to end all primals, a being to rival the strength of Bahamut, the cause of the end of the sixth astral era, or no, seventh astral era. My bad. So he reveals that he has the eyes of Nidhogg and leaps to his demise. Thus begins the summoning of the new primal. Papalymo, realizing the only method that he has to prevent the summoning, goes on to begin to channel the same spell that Louisoix used to temporarily seal Bahamut, which you can see in the ARR cutscene. And Dark Knight is very distracting, I'm sorry. And extremely distracting. I'm so sorry. I have not had enough coffee yet. Coffee's brewing. So Papa begins channeling this sealing spell, which will consume him body and soul. And we just all have to run. And that's where we leave off. We escape. Papalymo seals the developing baby primal, and we all land here, safely driven away by Hilda. So, and as such, that is where we will be picking up. Only taking me like, about 10 minutes to go over the recap. So, also, there's no music. I don't have BGM off. I think it's just to like accentuate the somber nature of this moment. It's over. Papalymo, it's all over. Leave her be. Nothing you can say will console her now. Every Asgardian gets taught that the Sea of Clouds churns in the grip of the warring elements of water and wind, enough to tear you apart, they say. No one's ever gone to the bottom of the abyss and lived to tell the tale. So how did that bastard manage to get his hands on the eyes of Nidhogg, or on Nidhogg's eyes? It has been explained to me explain to me what that light signifies, and I have ordered our forces to stand ready. It seems we can do little else but wait. I understand only too well the desire to reclaim one's homeland, but I cannot condone such slaughter. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. But Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and appraise our comrades of all of this. Pray make your way there at once, and I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. anyone got... Wait. Nope. I don't think anyone's got anything new. Actually, Alpha will. Duh. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We must gather our companions. Yeah, I'm not even gonna bother with Pippin. The sunk cost fallacy shall not claim me. At least not so easily. Like, why does everyone look so grim? Has something happened? Say something, for heaven's sake. I get the feeling. Did Haru and Kryl took that wait a minute, this is old. Okay, I guess Tatar's the only one with updated dialogue? Yes, Tatar's the only one with updated dialogue, and if they hit someone else, I'll just be sad and I'll never know. And I don't know can't hurt me. It would seem you bring ill tidings, brother. Aye, behold the Griffin's mask. We found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilberd. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual even as we looked on. By the 12. I don't understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's aether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort, as I am certain Papalymo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto his grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depth of the sea of clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind-aspected aether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Kryl, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it then. What? Without so much as a by your leave? Pray forgive Argania Shola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. A desire to confront Yida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I, too, must contend with this grievous loss in mine own way. By thy leave, Lady Alisaie, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Papalymo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. My own grief is as a crushing weight upon my heart, and when I think of what Yida must be feeling, Papalymo's sacrifice cannot be in vain. We will find the means to deal with this primal. All I want to do is weep, but right now we need to hold back the tears and do what must be done. Surely now. Once Edith returns, I'll see that she sits down to her favorite dish. When you feel empty inside, it is easy to forget that your belly needs to be filled. And people are certainly moved. They told us what happened with Paulimo and I. Forgive me, there are simply no words. Colonat greatly admired Paulimo and aspired to achieve the same lofty heights of magecraft. His loss was a terrible blow to the Scions. Sacrificing oneself for one's duty. Such actions remind me of the warriors of Doma, of the samurai and shinobi who died for our cause. I have a long road ahead before I can match the Archons in skill and expertise, but we must all do our parts in times like this. Surely there is something I can do to help. My brother may wrap himself in steel, but he is a man of tender heart. Witness his concern for the pain of his dear friends. As much as I wish it were different, there is a limit to what our healing can accomplish. Even the most powerful magics can do naught for a grieving heart. Man. Ah, Arentel, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged, meaning we still have no idea how long it will be before... A communication from the Alliance. One moment. Yes, of course. Our representative will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The Council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the Primal, of course, as of Yashola's last report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall, unchanged. Yes, but the other seats here doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I am told that Sid Garland has been called in to add his expertise to proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones into Taru's capable hands, and make haste for the Lotus Stand. Oh no. I spoiled the character last stream. Damn it all.
A word, if you would, good sir. This place, it is within the realm of Eorzea.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again. You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be in order. Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before all.
man. Are you all right?
Fucking love this guy.
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Okay, Nofka's altar. I'm just gonna teleport to Gridani. That's the wrong tab. There we go. Oh shit, car. Conjure skill. That's a cool name. Welcome, Warrior of Light. This way, if you please. I don't know why I bother reading the gatekeepers. They always say the same shit. What is wrong with me? Oh. That was a tell. I wonder if someone's trying to fucking invite me to their FC. Sorry about that.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's wall demands that we forego such pleasantries.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
The soldiers who witnessed the incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon. Of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free agent.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend